I'm J.R. Church. Welcome to today's analysis of the news. Gary Stearman is with me today, and we're going to talk about some of the interesting things that are happening in the Middle East and astronomically. You know, there's coming up a solar eclipse on July 22nd. It will be seen by more people than any other solar eclipse in the history of the human race because it's trekking across India and China, the two most populous countries in the world, each with over 1 billion people. And then, of course, on July the 7th, we had the lunar eclipse. So these are interesting days, are they not, Gary?
They are interesting, and why are we paying attention to solar eclipses anyway? Well, you know, the prophets paid attention to solar and lunar events. Joel talks about something that's going to happen before the tribulation. Joel 2:31, the sun shall be turned to darkness, the moon to blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And he says at the beginning of chapter 2, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Now that would be downtown Jerusalem. And J.R., we talked about sirens a little bit.
Yes.
How do you blow a siren or a trumpet in the modern era? You blow an air raid siren.
Well, Gary, in each of Israel's past wars, they've had these sirens go off across Jerusalem to rally the troops. And that's what it sounds like in Joel's prophecy there. And as a matter of fact, it says that when this particular one happens, that the Lord is going to drive off the northern army.
It does. Now, this eclipse J.R. was talking about, that is just ahead, is one of three. There was one in 2008 whose totality ranged across the upper part of the globe, the northern hemisphere. This one ranges equatorially across India, China, and the Pacific, and then there's one after that in the year following that will more or less range around the southern hemisphere, down towards South Pole. So God is bracketing the world with these great eclipses as a sign, I believe.
It's possible that it's a sign because we know that there's war fomenting in the Middle East. For example, here's an article that says Western anti-terror agencies have warned that a large group of 15 to 20 al-Qaeda terrorists trained in Pakistan and Algeria to hijack and blow up airliners deployed secretly in at least 6 European and Middle Eastern countries in early July. That's, like the last week. They are standing ready to carry out multiple terrorist attacks. The terrorists are believed to have landed in Britain, Germany, France, Italy, Turkey, and Egypt. And the dates to watch are July 4th, July 7th, July 8th and 9th, the G8 summit, and so on. We haven't seen anything yet, but that doesn't mean that it could mean that we caught some of those guys, They've tried to get through and have not been able to. Al-Qaeda planners say the Western sources know that it's extremely hard to break through massive security cordons protecting summit leaders. They're planning, therefore, to hijack passenger planes of airlines belonging to the targeted states and blow them up in mid-air. That's just one news article. Here's another one that says a court in Azerbaijan on Wednesday of this week opened proceedings against a Hezbollah-led terrorist cell that earlier in the year had plotted to bomb the Israeli embassy in the capital city of Baku. And here's another article that says that Israel has powerful weapons and will destroy any enemy that tries to destroy Israel, even if it is mutually assured destruction. And this article says Israel has 3 German-made submarines that are widely assumed to carry nuclear missiles. So Israel is ready for any contingency. But there will be, one of these days, an invasion by Iran and Russia and their allies. And Israel will have to rally its troops. It will be a dreadful time. Joel says that it will happen at a time when the sun is turned dark and the moon turns red.
Well, reading again, Joel chapter 3, verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. It's near. It's not here yet, but it's somewhere near. And biblically, that could mean months, maybe even years. The sun and the moon, he says, shall be darkened. The stars shall withdraw their shining. The darkening of the sun and the moon could be an eclipse cycle of various kinds. We have eclipses that coincide with the dates of Jewish festivals, JR, and that's a whole different story. But there are signs in the sun and the moon. It could also be disruptions in the sun because the current solar sunspot cycle has got the scientists baffled. They're very worried about what the sun is doing. I think that's significant too.
Absolutely. Well, we have on the front cover of our July 2009 issue of Prophecy in the News magazine a picture of the planet and the trek of the sun across India and China and out across the Pacific Ocean on July 22nd, coming up next week. And we have also the pictures of the solar eclipses that occurred last year and the one that will occur next year on this same calendar date, the 1st of Av. So get this magazine, will you? It's $2.95. Call the phone number at the bottom of your screen, 1-800-475-1111, and order it from us. We'll be glad to send it to you. And while you're at it, let me suggest that you get, if you don't have a subscription, subscribe for the next 12 months. If you will, for $34.95, you can have your choice of 4 books or 3 videos. Ask the operator about it when you call. One more thing. This set of DVDs, these are $24.95. It's called The Feast of the Lord, and it talks about the solar and lunar eclipses for this year, last year, this year, next year, and for the years 2014, 2015. It's awesome. I suggest you get it and watch Pastor Mark Biltz as he explains this solar and lunar cycles. We live in, shall we say, strange days. It's entirely possible that the solar and lunar eclipses mentioned in the Bible are happening, at least the first set. I'm J.R. Church and Gary Stearman. Thanks, Gary, for coming today.
JR, again, I would agree with you. These are momentous times, and I always appreciate being here with you.
We'll see you again Monday with our analysis of the news.